Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 list. This week's top 10 list is the top 10 most expensive notes in my collection, the revised edition. I did a top 10 most expensive notes in my collection about a year or so ago, maybe longer than that, and I stretched that out to a top 20 because I was surprised at some of the notes that didn't make it. Now I am stunned by the number of notes that I have that are in the top 10 that are over $1,000. So let's take a look at what I've got. Now I did throw in a couple honorable mentions just because I thought they would make the top 10 until I started seeing the stuff that was actually there. So let's knock those out first. First honorable mention, this particular one is the 1918 $2 national currency. This is a Federal Reserve Bank note from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. This particular one is known as the Battleship. The Battleship note. Prices have changed a little bit. You can see this one here was $5.50. I think I got it just for a hair under that. However, these are selling now for somewhere in the neighborhood of $675. When we're talking expensive notes, one of my honorable mentions is $675. So that's honorable mention number one. Honorable mention number two, this may surprise a lot of people. It is the 1896 $1 silver certificate from the educational series. The $1 educational note, this particular one grades out at a 25. And so as far as my collection goes, that puts this one at number 12 overall in my collection, figured to be worth somewhere in the neighborhood of roughly $850, give or take. That's still an honorable mention at number 12. And number 11, another honorable mention, my 1869 $1 legal tender, my rainbow note, $1 rainbow note with that gigantic seal there. I like how the blue fades to green. You've got the red, you've got the yellowish on the paper there. And the back of this note here has got a little bit of staining on it. Other than that, the thing grades out at 25. In a condition like this particular note, you're talking close to $900 if I recall. $1 1869, about $900 on this particular note. So those were the honorable mentions. I didn't realize that my top 10 would all be 4-digit notes. That's kind of stunning when you think about it. Anyway, number 10 on my list. Number 10. This is the 1886, right there. I'm sorry, 1886 $5 silver certificate. 5 silver dollars. This is the Morgenback. Right there, you got the 5 silver dollars, 5 silver Morgans on the back. And if you look real close, you can see it says, in God we trust. First time that you ever see that phrase on currency, because it wasn't on currency, it was on coins, but not on our currency. So they kind of snuck that one in there on us. The 1896 $5 Morgenback note. This is one of the most desirable notes out there, in good condition, or in uncirculated condition. This note is somewhere in the neighborhood of like $45,000. This particular note, the one that I have, this one's worth about $1,000 in this shape. Not the greatest note, but I have one, and that's the important thing. So that's number 10 on my list. 1886 $5 silver certificate at about $1,000. Next up, number 9 on my list. This is from 1901. It's a 1901 $10 legal tender featuring Lewis and Clark and a North American bison. The bison note, number 9 on my list. 1901 bison note. Gotta love the rich red color on there. Take a peek at the back. You can see it's got a little bit of schmutz on the back. I still got to put it in a better holder. It does have a little bit of a crease there, a little bit of a crease here. You can see there's a crease down the middle and one right over there. So it is a circulated note. Still decent shape on this particular note. Still worth quite a bit. This one in this condition, you are talking about $1,325. So these start to add up quickly. Like I said, we're at number 9 and I'm at $1,325. Number 8 on the list. Number 8, as I start throwing stuff around, From 1862, this is an 1862 $1 legal tender, the very first $1 bill ever produced. This particular one graded out at 35, and it did snag that EPQ, so I was proud of that. Having an EPQ 35, you don't usually see EPQ that low. Check out the back. It does say exceptional paper quality on there. This one I haven't really double checked too much. You can see I got $13.50 on the back. That's the price I'm going with right now. Is being worth about $13.50. I paid a little less than that. It's probably worth a little bit more than that, I should say, right about now. Prices on stuff have been skyrocketing, so I'm still waiting for the book to come out. But I'm going to play it safe and call it $13.50. Maybe it could have stretched its way up to like $1,500 or so, but I'll be conservative and say $13.50 on this particular note. That is number 8. Number 7 on my list. This one kind of jumped out to say hi. It is the 1900 $10,000 gold certificate. I know, how is a $10,000 bill worth less than $10,000? Especially when the Treasury and the Bureau of Printing and Engraving says that everything that it printed is still worth at least face value. I don't know. I'm not the one that says all that stuff. They say it. I don't. Anyway, anybody wants to give me 10 grand for this bill, you can send. I do accept PayPal. This bill is not worth 10 grand, even though it says that. It has been redeemed, has been canceled. You can see it's got the punch right there. This note was in the fire. They were all redeemed prior to 1933, and in 1935 there was a fire at the Washington, D.C. post office. You can see the smoke damage, the burn damage on this particular bill. Any of these bills that still exist owe their existence to being thrown out of a 6-story window in that fire. That's how they were saved from being destroyed. So yeah, people found these laying in puddles of water and debris raining down from a burning post office. The $10,000 note from 1900, it does say 1916. That was the issuing date on this particular one. But if you read the fine print, it does say 1900 on here. Anyway, this note goes for roughly, in this condition, roughly $1,500. Yeah, that's what I got it at, $1,500. Number 7 overall on my list. And yeah, still talking big bucks. Number 6, $500 1934 Federal Reserve note. $500 bill. These they started taking out of circulation in 1969. These, the 1,000, the 5,000, the 10,000. If you're lucky, you can still get a hold of one of these. They are going fast. They are extremely hot right now. This particular note, let me flip it over here. You can see this one was $10.50 when I bought it. I think I ended up getting it for like $900 from this guy. And yeah, good luck. Good luck on that one. Right now, these are so hot. The $500 notes, you're lucky to find one for, $1,800 now. $1,800 seems to be what the standard rate is, especially for one that's been graded. So yeah, I'm glad I picked this one up when I did. If you don't have one, try to get one while they're still cheap, because these and the thousands are extremely hot right now. So that is number 6 on my list. Number 5, as far as valuable notes go, it's my $2 Lazy Deuce, 1860 or 1875 Lazy Deuce. One of the national currencies, this one from the American National Bank of Providence, Rhode Island. The Lazy Deuce, this one was graded as an 8. There was a lot of contemporary counterfeits, and I did not want a counterfeit, so I wanted to make sure I got one that was graded, so I knew it was the real thing. This one is graded by PMG, so I knew it was real. I felt better about it. It does say repaired, overprint, redrawn. I'm not worried about that because I have the authentic $2 Lazy Deuce from 1875. And this book's out even in this condition at about $1,950 based on where it came from and based on the charter number on this particular one. So yeah, just shy of $2,000, about $1,950 on this particular one. That is number 5 on my list. Number 5 at $1,950. Number 4, the $2 1896 silver certificate. The silver certificate, part of the educational series. Once again, this one grades out at 25. It's in really good shape. The educational series, probably one of the highest demand series you can get. There's only 3 notes. They were pulled after 3 years. They weren't out long, and they just looked nothing like money. Now, they are just so incredible to look at. These notes, this note in particular, the $2 educational note, in this condition is about $2 grand. So yeah, this one I was pretty proud to have. They're only going up, and they're going up quick. Everybody's looking to get these. You can't get them cheap anymore. So that is number 4 on my list, right? Number 3 on my list. Number 4 on my list. Number three is the $5 educational note. $5 educational note from the same series, obviously. They made the 1, the 2, and the 5, and this was the troublemaker. This is the note that caused the whole series to get pulled. Mine isn't perfect, but it's pretty good. Definitely worth having this particular note. This one, probably a 10. I'm guessing maybe 8 or a 10. I'm sure. Maybe I get lucky and get a 12 or something like that. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Got the real thing. I was happy to get a hold of this one because these are also hot. When you've got a note that caused the controversy, that's the note in the series you want to get. This particular one, about 2,200 in this condition. Some people say 25. I'm going to say 22. I'm not going to be greedy on it. So 2,200 for the $5 1886 educational note. Number 2 on my list. I did mention it earlier. It is the $1,000 bill. This particular one is from 1934, series of 1934A. The 1928s are a little more pricey, but you're not going to find somebody go, oh, I wanted the 1928, not the 1934, because you just don't see that many of these out there. And the price that they're going for is just growing and growing and growing. The $1,000 note, there's the back of it. You can see I paid $1,675. I think I paid $1,600 for this one. And yeah, you can't get a $500 bill for that now. So I'm glad I got it when I did. I'm only kicking myself because the guy had 2 of them and I only bought 1. I should have bought them both. Because right now these are so hot. The $1,000 bill, you're lucky to find one for less than $2,500. It's just, they're very easy to sell and very hard to get a hold of. Most people don't want to let them go because they know that the value is increasing on these, and that's just driving up demand even more, causing the price to be even higher. So that's number 2 on my list, a $1,000 Federal Reserve. And number 1, the most valuable note I have in my collection. This is from 1923. It is a $10 legal tender. This one is known as the poker chip. Called the poker chip not for this seal here, as was pointed out to me when I first saw one, but for the 2 gigantic poker chips on the back. The 10s with the ribbing on it like that, the rays coming out of the 10 here, just such a cool note like this. This one did grade out it as a 20. They may have been a little generous. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. It's a 20. Hard to argue with that. And because it's graded at very fine 20, and because of the serial number on there, it is a mixed ladder. It's 567890, and you can even include the letters AB. So yeah, the whole series goes from 5 all the way up to 0 and continues with the letters as well. Hard to argue with what's written there. And according to the book, if you have one of these graded at 20, it's $3,500. That's just what the book says. So that's what I'm going on. $3,500 for this particular note. So those are the top 10 notes that I have in my collection. Price-wise, anyway. And you can see I'm just eyeballing this here. What would that be? $245, $55, $60. 7, 8, I can't even count that high. You can do the math, total it up. I didn't total it up on my sheet, and I'm not going to bore you with me trying to do math in my head. If you learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next week.